Warning: most items used in this video can be dangerous both physically and chemically. If you wish to attempt, make sure to take proper safety measures before proceeding. Anyways, enjoy the video. While the 80th anniversary has passed, that doesn't mean it's over. In actuality, there is still a lot more things to look forward to throughout the year. Considering it is the year of the 80th, I thought it was the perfect time to make a custom I've wanted to make for a fair bit of time now. Back in 2015 for the 70th anniversary, Mattel put out merchandise for The Adventure Begins, including Wooden Railway. However, the only thing they made for the movie was Jameson's black livery, or as named, Introducing James, which was on its own a great model, or at least, it was.
Disgusting!
But it did feel a bit underwhelming, especially considering the other things they could have made. I think you know where I'm going with this. So in turn, I decided to take it upon myself to make Thomas in his LBSC livery for both the 80th anniversary and also to make something Mattel didn't. With that out of the way, here's where it all started. Now, as some of you may know, the first custom I made was the Wooden Railway Duncan from back in December. However, that wasn't intended to be my first custom. Before that point, I was new to the custom making world, and still practically am, and wanted to start off with something simple, and making an LBSC Thomas would be a great start, as it is mostly just a repaint and doesn't require physically altering the model. Obviously, that wasn't my first custom, and I regardless couldn't do it at the time, since I didn't have a second 2012 Thomas, which was my ideal preference. At least until January came around, where I finally found one at a thrift store, and as such could start the model. The blueprint I think is pretty self-explanatory. Take 2012 Thomas and paint it into LBSC Thomas. Obviously it wasn't that simple, as we'll see later on, but that was pretty much the general idea. With that said and done, it was time to start making the model. Despite the fact this is a repaint, that doesn't mean there aren't other steps involved, as before I could start painting, I had to disassemble it, and let me tell you, taking this thing apart was torture. Considering the fact that I was working with an official model, obviously it wasn't going to be better constructed than per se a knockoff, and as such it took me at most 2 hours to even disassemble the chassis. After that grueling process, I finally had it apart, and as you might be able to tell from the pictures, I was pretty rough with the disassembly, and as such, some things had to be sealed up with some wood filler. Now that the body was ready, I primed it, and now I could start the painting process. If you guys saw the Duncan video, you might remember that when I did these decals, I had already painted him, and just hoped that the color would match when printed. Needless to say, that didn't go well. At all. So for this custom, I decided not to paint it, and opted to do the decals first, to see how they would print. Then from there, I would use that color as my reference for when mixing paint. This decision made the livery look way better, and meant I wouldn't have to modify the decals in any way. Speaking of the decals, I decided to do something new with them. Lining. Outside of the regular decals, I decided to make some for the lining as well, since for one, I'm not good at painting lines, and two, it would be a lot easier to do. And right I was, as the decals looked really great with the rest of the body. Now with the body, chassis, and wheels finished, it was time to assemble it, which unfortunately compared to last time, went pretty roughly. Mainly the wheels.
No, don't pull, no! Ah!
But it all worked out good in the end. Now with all that done, he was finished. For being my first custom made from an official model, I think it turned out really well, and would probably look great if paired with Introducing James. That's if I actually had one. Jokes aside, I am really happy with how everything turned out, especially considering how long I've wanted to do this custom for. Before I end the video, I want to give a big thanks to you guys for all the tips and support on the Duncan custom. I was really surprised at how many of you guys liked it, and it's really encouraged me to continue making more customs in the future. I can't thank you guys enough. With all that said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.